What's going on, guys? It's your host, Hindu Pips. Welcome to today's session. Just want to make sure you guys can hear me loud and clear before we fully get started. Feel free to drop a one in the chat. Hope everyone else is doing blessed. And welcome to today's session. If you're brand new or if you're returning, part of the OG squad that hops on, as always, just a reminder none of this is financial advice. We just hop on, see if we can catch something for the live session or we have ideas set up for the week. But let's run it up. Feel free to let me know how your guys' trading week is going. And if you have any ideas that are similar or different, or anything you guys want me to look at specifically, feel free to let me know. And if there's any topics that you would like me to cover based off my own experiences, I'm more than happy to speak about it. It's an open session, so just gonna share my perspective and we'll run it up. As always, we're gonna start it off with the economic calendar for the week. The main focus day is going to be Friday for us. We got NFP first Friday of the month coming up, 5:30 a.m. PST. Get some volatility on Thursday, but and even a little bit tomorrow. But the main focus day is going to be Friday for sure for this week. Let's see if we have anything after that that looks tempting. Oh, CPI next week as well, a right day before our session, so it'll be a good prep for that as well. But let's go ahead and run it up. Hope everyone is having a good trading week. I saw in the chats we're already smacking, and it's only Tuesday. But as always, guys, we always look at gold first. Larger time frame perspective. Um, it's interesting because when market opened on Sunday, yeah, we had the push up, and then everyone's thinking because of all the war stuff going on that we are just gonna break past more highs, which we still can. But gold ended up having a pretty solid sell-off. If you were tapped into the educator sessions, they were calling out all these the zones for this for the sell-offs, which was like right up in here. So the plays were given. It's just a matter of plugging in and taking advantage. Where gold is at right now, currently outlook wise, I think we're going to see a short sell off and then we get some potential buys. I'm not in any positions right now. I do want to see some shorts because we did leave behind the gap. It's just where it's at right now. We're kind of just chopping in this range. So I have a feeling we'll get some volatility during the London Open to give us an idea of what it wants to do. Personally, this is how I'm going to approach it. We see that it is at a key level right inside of here. And honestly, you can even go at the 200 level, psychological 5200, depending on whether you're on futures or CFD, your prices may differ slightly. But personally, where it's at, it's like if we break and close above this, I can look for some buys. Uh, but if this area holds, I would love to see if we can short down inside of the 200 too as well. If we close below it into the gap, gold's definitely been super volatile as far as movement, so we could just continue shooting up. Volume wise, buyers have not stepped in. Like we can see a very strong candle here, but volume on it is not there, which is why I'm still more in favor of shorts. It's just a bit uncertain in terms of how far this is going to retrace. We could just come into the imbalance, fill it, and then short down. So two potential scenarios inside of here, or we just short down from where we're currently at and then rally a bit back up. But shorts are definitely something I'll be keeping an eye on. I don't like the fact that this candle has no wick. So potential idea inside of here, let's make sure double check. Yeah, there's no wick on this candle. And usually when price is running, oh, actually there is. They're just very small to see. So yeah, some potential shorts from there, but we'll see what price does when we get to that area. Just a current outlook right now. because we do have the imbalance here, so just be aware of that. Let's see if silver has anything clearer at least. If you got something different, feel free, because you might see something that I don't, and it's all a team effort at the end of the day. So we'll kind of let's reset this on silver. I would love to see if silver can come down into this daily candle again. Take out this wick here on the low. Oh, and there's also something I want to show you guys on gold as well. I was studying it earlier because personally I didn't trade this morning, but I made sure to go back and study the price action because that's always key. Even if you don't take any trades, you should still go back and review what happened in the day so you can train your eyes to see your entry model and just continue getting better. Silver's kind of looking the same. I can see a retrace a bit more up inside. If we see any potential shorts potentially inside of there, it's filled. It didn't leave behind a gap from the open like gold did. Yeah, silver's just kind of chopping its way up slowly. I don't think I want to be in any of this right now with silver. We just form lows. We also form more trend line liquidity here. Maybe we have potential small short before we buy up on silver, but personally, I'm not really liking how silver looks where it's currently at. But what I wanted to show you guys on gold is the emphasis on the whole psychological level stuff. If you guys look a little bit after the market open, like almost in the next hour, around 7:15 right here, you can see how gold came and reacted off of that whole level 500, 5,000, sorry. And a good way you could have played this was if you see gold is coming down into your zone, look at volume. Really big candle coming down, but then volume's decreasing. It's just showing us that sellers are getting out of the market. Yeah, we don't get the engulfing volume here. We get the engulfing candle. So even if you wanted to attempt something like this and wait for a candle to open bullish, you could have still played something like this. Stop at this low. Where's the obvious area? I mean, apart from your 1 to 3, because I know a lot of you guys do that, but where's the potential obvious area that price is going to want to go up to rebalance inside this inefficiency? So from your 1 to 3, you could have easily partialed and held some of your position up to this 1 to 5. Yeah, it runs more, but like this was your like obvious exit, and then extending it out more if you wanted to trailer stops. But just something I noticed while studying the price action from today. And this is applicable with gold anywhere because of the whole psychological level and how we practice using volume as well. So that's key. Indices. I know we were talking about in the chat for shorts. I am very much in favor of the shorts. We on the larger time frame, we've got this trend line liquidity building up. So I do want to see it get taken out. My only thing is, I'm not entering any pre-London session shorts. I'm not really liking how it's kind of just chopping right now. If it starts breaking down, what I'll probably look for is a simple, like keep trading simple. If we break below this low, if I can get a simple break and retest to come take out this liquidity, I will. I can have a tighter stop, but I don't want to put myself at risk in this chop in case it wants to retrace a little bit and take out pre-session sellers. Because even though this volume is there, the candle really isn't showing strength. So I'm okay with being patient on this. Nice little trap candle. It did give, like if you're just playing inside the body, about 38 points. But yeah, personally, I'm just gonna wait. I do want to see shorts. So even if we get a little bit of retracement, I'll still look for some potential shorts. Let's see if we have our signature trap candles inside of here somewhere. This was a nice 30 minute one. We also have equal highs right here. So we got liquidity on both ends. I'm okay with being patient on this. Means that the bias, even volume-wise, shows us shorts. This is putting a lot of effort, but we don't look at the volume for these buys. A lot of effort, but we don't hold up, and we just come straight back down. So if it does just chop up for London session, that's will be my bias for New York. I also see this as well. We got equal highs here. Um, and if you've been on my sessions, I've also spoken about playing the extremes in terms of when we see this external liquidity here, and you guys have been on the sessions in the past where we've seen this on gold happen a lot for Asian session. Seeing the liquidity get taken out and then the reverse sweep. So if we short down tomorrow and we don't get the pump up first, and then we start seeing volume decline and buyers step in, I will look to definitely take out these equal highs and even these highs. And if price is running, you have this whole imbalance to fill. So that's my bias going into the market. Because looking to everything to the left here, this is all pretty much efficient. Where how things develop, if we really like break below this low right here, then I can see us coming down into 24 or 300. But personally, look for a short-term rally if we drop down and then we hold up, especially when we get closer to like this whole psychological level, which I'm going to make sure I set an alert on 24,000. So bias is shorts. No positions yet. Let this thing show its hand because it is just chopping up. Let's see if US30 has anything on here. Let me just double check the chat. Cool, cool, cool. Feel free to drop in who is on here. US30, we look to the left, what it did today. This is my first time looking at 30 because I only was studying gold earlier. Um, but look, we have the liquidity here, and let's look at this on a smaller time frame. Right inside here, what did 630 open do? Take out the liquidity and reverse. So that's literally what I'm talking about here. I'm gonna actually make it a little bit easier and just draw this full line. We had the equal lows right here. We talk about those getting swept. Price does that at the open, retest, continues shorting down. Volume tries to come in here, but not fully yet. And look what happens here. You get the engulfing volume, engulfing candle. Say you place it like as this candle opens, stop at this low. What's the we get the 1 to 3, but then what's the next obvious? Right there. And then this thing continues to run. So literally the same example we just talked about on gold, where you're seeing it right here on US30 as well. Textbook. And if you weren't sure to play it off of this, you had your chance right here. Price is showing you buyers are starting to slowly step in. Um, uh, Candles are engulfing. Attempt that position if you didn't want to attempt inside of here. Let's see if there's anything on this even smaller time frame. I would have just been playing inside of here. We had just had to deal with chop for a little bit, but this is still not bad with the stop down here. Another way this could have been played for my like people that like to trade breakout in a way is you see this level that's rejecting pretty intensely is when it rejects, you could have just played it up inside of here with the stop right below the previous candle and still taking this up. Yeah, you missed this initial move, but then you can also avoid getting caught in this chop and you still capitalize inside of here. Where US30 is currently at, and if none of that makes sense, please let me know so I can expand on it or go a little bit slower. But if you've been on with me consistently, this is like stuff that we've covered and like how I see the markets. I would love to continue shorting 30. I just feel like we're probably going to pop up before we get some shorts. I'm going to keep an eye on like this candle specifically. See if we can get a pop up. And then personally, if we can get US 30 below this low, we're probably going to come down to 4,600. Like it just makes sense to come rebalance the price action to the left. And say you miss all of this, keep it simple. If we know this has been a key level now all of a sudden, why not just take a simple break and retest the next obvious area? Don't need to complicate trading. There's levels, pay attention to levels. Looks like I'm looking at NAS on my other monitor. It's breaking down, but I'm still gonna follow my plan in terms of take the break and retest when if it like breaks below that level, just to show you guys what I was looking at on my other screen. This thing, literally what I just spoke about in US 30. Obviously, US 30 zone is down here. Um, I don't want to short the indices yet because there's just so much like liquidity on both ends right here. So I'm okay with being a little bit patient on this in case we get a pop up. Plus, if you guys look inside here, we also have an imbalance inside that larger time frame hourly candle. So I can see price come rebalance this and then continue shorting off, which I need to set an alert. There we go. Did I put an alert on this? Oh, I did not. Cool. That is set. Yeah, plus if US 30 can break this low, like right here, this is pretty obvious in terms of come fill right here. Specifically, the reason being I'm pointing right there is clear imbalance to target down to. So let it show its hand first. We've got our areas. Now it's just a matter of being patient. I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, feel free to ask. See what SPX is doing on this end. Similar bias, to be honest. They all are looking the same, which is nice. So ideally, like we get that little pop up. Um, this move did give a little bit, but then the bias kept coming down. So that was a point of interest, I think, from last week. Yeah, if SPX, I think, to be honest, where we're at, if we break this low, I can see SPX come down to 65, 600, 65, 550s. It just makes sense from a like a efficient standpoint. So we got my zones, overall bias, shorts, um, just going with the momentum. Let's look at DXY real quick. I know we had some trade ideas that did go into profit from last week, so definitely gonna take a look. Dollar is starting to get a little bit of retracement, so we could see gold go up because the dollar just cleared the liquidity over here and then started shorting down. Then, if you guys notice, the same things we just discussed on gold, Nasdaq, US 30, we're literally seeing it on the dollar. So same concepts. If you have a strategy, a plan, and you can see it repetitively in multiple charts that you're looking at, then you know like you're able to see the way you trade, and then you're actually getting more proof that your plan, your strategy works. And it's all about collecting data and improving on it. Dollar down could definitely see some to come rebalance some price action for a bit. Let's go to our pairs. So if you guys been with us for weeks at this point, we were calling out this peso zone. I know some of the other people caught it as well. This you can go back and look on the stuff we've been talking about this zone, and it is in profit. So if you did take this, hope you're paying yourself as well as this goes in your favor. You can see dollar retrace a little bit, so momentum has been down for dollar against peso, so just be cautious of that. Don't get greedy, but this was a nice little pop here. Volume looks very solid as well. So this is just going to do its thing. Hopefully now we see another sort of like just a little drop down, rebalance, and then continue higher up. This is seen textbook, bro. I mean, this was, I know it was a trap candle, but which time frame was it on? Was it on the 2 hour? Let's see. No, I think I just took it off a daily point of interest. If it made sense. Yeah, solid. This thing's doing its job. UJ slowly working its way up. I still think this is valid. Make sure there's an alert there. If we can get a little bit higher and then get a little short down. This idea is something we've been waiting on. USD Swiss. This could potentially rally after it gets a little pop down, seeing something like this, and then continue higher up. Because this was like just melting down, as we can see. Um, so a potential idea if it comes back into the weekly candle here and holds in terms of volume, that's something we can keep an eye on. USD CAD, still, let me see if this zone is still valid or not. Yeah, I still am going to pay attention to this area. I'll reevaluate once we do get there. I have an alert set. This looks ugly the way this price action is. So we have the zone. We'll reevaluate once price gets there, but for now, staying out of CAD. I can see this shorting down from where it's at right now, but I really wouldn't want to touch it. This is just choppy price action. GJ, wow, would you look at this? We had the sell zone here, and then we had the buy zone as well. So if you were on last week's session, you bagged 200, almost 250 pips in one direction, and then another almost 200 pips in the other direction. So these ideas were given out, the biases were there. I hope y'all took the plays. Pretty straightforward. It's in the recordings as well. Uh, and what's cool is just breaking this down. We form liquidity, it gets swept, retracement. So even if you missed all of this and you're like, oh man, I missed the trade, this was still inefficient and we left behind liquidity. So that means there's motive for price. Let the candle close. You can guarantee there's probably a way to get inside of here. Yeah, once the liquidity was swept, you had the engulfing candle, almost engulfing volume, but the engulfing candle on this, it still only would have been a 17 pip risk for what you could potentially gain. Where this is at right now, personally, I would at this point, if you didn't pay yourself up to 200 pips, then you got greedy. Now I would just kind of stay out of this because this is just chopping sideways, so there's no point in us touching this. But that's like literally 400 pips total on that one pair from last week. GU. Wouldn't be surprised if we get a bit of a retracement from where GU's at. If we mark where it reacted, it did feel an imbalance. This is would be a pretty tight risk. And playing inside here with the stop below the low, seeing if GU can give us a little bit of a pullback and then continue higher up. This is what I mean. Just shoot for the 1 to 3. And then after that, if this continues running, then you have the gap that's been left over, which would give you like a 1 to 10. If you want to give this a little bit more breathing room, you can. Um, for like the first attempt, I would just see if price can respect this zone and then us continue further up. If it wants to come deeper, cool. But just in case it wants to respect this, this is an area to potentially attempt. And one more thing, as we get closer to news with all these zones, if they haven't yet activated, like say we get closer to NFP especially, um, uh, be patient. My advice, unless you have to do limits, I would just say the closer. prices to news. Let news do its thing, show its hand, and then you can play from there. Just a quick little update because I was watching NAS on my other screen. This is partly why I did not want to enter into shorts yet. This thing's starting to retrace back. US 30 is doing the same and is about to clear this liquidity. So that's why, like, when you're stuck in this range, it's like I'd rather just be patient and let it show its hand, um, and then go from there. So we got GU there, GBP odd. What a snipe. This was given last week. It played off again, and we formed liquidity. This is interesting. I don't want to play inside of this zone personally. I think I had alert set for this. Let me see. GBP odd. I hope I did. Yeah, we did. Cool. This thing sniped. I think that's the same zone. 1.910. Yeah, same pricing. Yep, that was a snipe. So if anyone did take this idea, it ran. Wait, hold up. Let me go smaller time frame. 160 pips in profit. It looks like everything we've got so far from last week is running well over 600 pips in profit. Personally, where this is at, I'm okay with staying out of this for now. After getting that solid move, we just let it be, do its thing. GBP CAD, let's see what we got on this. Wait, did this activate as well? Do we have the alert? Yeah, if 1.81, hold up, 1.85187. Perfect. Did anyone take this idea? This reacted in the zone. 340 pips in profit. What's that? So six was 900 pips given out from last week. Pretty straightforward. Just gotta plug in. See, this is a 1L we took, but this is literally only so far 1L, 55 pips. That's okay. It was valid to attempt based off of like what we were looking at. GB Swiss, man, this thing just keeps dropping. I can see this come lower. I don't want to even touch this at this point. If anything, maybe inside of here, but I'll reevaluate once price gets here and what the rest of the pair. So not a confirmed idea, but this is just a potential point of interest I'm looking at. GPNZD. Yo, this is so cool. Like another example. Sorry guys, this has like me nerding out, but literally everything we talked about in all the other pairs, equal lows, liquidity gets swept, price starts reversing. Pretty straightforward. And say if you miss this initial push up, remember how we speak about like the candles with no wicks getting taken out, gets taken out, starts rejecting for selling. The sellers are getting out of the market, buyers are stepping back in. We're getting volume as they're coming up, and then there you go. And this was inside of a trap candle too. I know this is hindsight, but this is literally like the entry model we've been covering. This is one of my entry models I use. So I just want to make sure I show you guys multiple examples as well. Where this is at currently, GP and ZD, I could see a slight retracement to be honest. Let's see if we have anything inside of here. Point of interest, I will keep an eye on this. See if we can retrace a bit on this. See something like this inside of here. Come rebalance right inside of here. Pretty big stop loss, but pretty big TP area. So manage your risk accordingly. If you want to make a tighter stop, you can right here, but I mean the safe stop technically, conservative stop is down here. But just keep an eye on how the other GBP pairs are. But this is a point of interest to keep an eye on. Let's go look at Euro odd is reacting from last week. This was the whole play in terms of I think I did. Knowing me, I must have spoken about this. How this was a point of interest to see how volume prints, because I'm not. Even though we're getting volume here, the daily is not did not close properly in terms of volume. I would wait for more structure to shift in case it wants to come take this liquidity out. So it is in the area. Personally, would be cautious of how it's building. Would like to see more volume come in. Um, but this is a potential reversal area. Eurocat, dang, this thing melted. Jeez. Oh, I think because I know how there's like some correlation with cat and oil, so I know oil did shoot up as well. Oh, we gotta take a look at that too. Almost forgot with everything that's going on in the world. I'm not the biggest into fundamentals, but it was just stuff that I was reading. This thing's just kind of chopping out like this. I'm okay with staying out of this for now. Maybe we see something like this potentially clear out the liquidity and then get a little bit of retracement. Would make sense from where price is at currently. Larger time frame. Yeah, because we basically if we put a line here, we basically rebalance price action to the left. So like I showed you guys with the example of like the extreme to see if we can sweep down one more time. Is there anything on a smaller time frame here? Not really. I think your price can potentially sweep down, respect, and then come up, retrace, rebalance price action to the left here. It's nice that we've also maintained equal highs here, so an easy first target is right here. And then look to the left, another set of targets. Look to the left again, another set of targets. Giving and if price is momentum, 1, 2, 3, and then you have the imbalance 4. So easy areas to potentially partial TP depending on what your plan says. I need to make sure I set alert. Euro Swiss. Let's see what we got on this. To be honest, I'm okay with not touching any of the pairs that have Swiss on it, because these things have been just going down, down, and down. So I'm okay with staying out of this. We're not missing out on much. Let's see. Euro GBP. I can see this thing dropping more. It's just literally just generating more liquidity. If we look to the left here, and these wicks are all going to get taken out. Happens time and time again. See if I have any potential point of interest. If we get a retracement and see if price can respect this area, especially if like the liquidity remains, seeing price can retrace and then short back down. Thoughts on peso? Bro, that means my guy hasn't been plugging in. That's crazy. I've been talking about peso for weeks before y'all got into the buys. Dang, Josue, breaking my heart. You're good, man. Yeah, no, we were talking about this zone for weeks, for peso. Accumulated popped up. So this is what I'm looking at currently. I can see a potential retracement as long as volume holds up, then we see some buys. Just keep in mind where the actual dollar is at, because I can see dollar retrace a little bit as well. Um, I would like to see peso hold up once it pulls back into this, but keep in mind we're also, in a sense, we are counter trending because we've just been going down for weeks here. So don't get greedy. At least pay yourself something in case price just wants to continue breaking down. But like, yeah, ideally inside of here, inside of this imbalance, basically, and then continue back up. I don't know I don't know what your entry is at. Like I don't know if this puts you at like break even already or some partials depending on where you got in. Let's see what pair were we at. Yeah, we did Euro GBP, Euro JPY. Yo, this is heartbreak. This thing didn't come back into the zone. I'm still gonna hold on to this. Still got the alert set. I still respect the trap candle. Uh, yeah, this one didn't pull back enough to be valid and then just ran through, so that's okay. Where your JPY's at? I don't want to touch this only because we've already got equal lows. I think this sweeps down before we even get a buyback up at this point. Yeah, 17.32305. All right, 1 second. 30. It's around here. 323. Oh yeah, here actually. Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming then your stop was all the way down here. If that was the case, you're running at a. I just ran 1 to 2, so I'm assuming, knowing your plan, I'm assuming you've already taken a partial or been and break even. I think that's what I remember you telling me you do. Correct me if I'm wrong. Euro NZD, yeah, we don't touch this. This is just ugly price action. Bro, this has been moving sideways forever. Was this from last week? Wait, what was last week's date? Sometimes I have to go back and check. 24th. Dang, this came back and played in multiple times. Did anyone take this Euro USD sell? This thing ran 280 pips. I know probably where it's at right now. I mean, I can see this running more down for sure, but I hope someone took that short. I think we bagged already like close to 1,000 pips from since last week. So hope you guys paid attention. This was textbook respect to the zone. Nice gap down. Let's look at, oh yeah, missed out on oil. Let me double check where we're at. This, I don't think I had an alert, but this was the zone. It barely wicked inside. I thought it would go a little bit deeper. Um, Oil loves like key level areas. Like I just wanted to respect like a little break and retest off this level. Um, it did do something that's worthy of paying attention to. If you guys see that oil was rejecting off of here, price closed above, you could have just entered when it closed above and then taken it up to where it's at right now. As far as this zone, I'm gonna discard it now. It already gave the reaction for me. So if anyone did even attempt inside of this, it ran a decent amount from 63 to 78. Let me see if I had an alert for this. US oil. Oh, we did. I just didn't even pay attention to it. Dang. Um, this thing's probably gonna pop up. Where's oil at right now? Yeah, it actually cleared out the equal highs here. I can see it like a potential short-term sell, depending also like the fundamentals can play a factor with what's going on in the world. Because yeah, this was a crazy move up. So I'm okay with like sitting on my hands for oil on this. If it comes back, this is the next potential area I would keep an eye on. Make sure we got alert. Podcast. This zone got disrespected, and that's okay. We just made more highs. Looks like more equal highs on OddCAD. Let's see where this is at. I'm okay with staying out of this. Nothing seems like super obvious for me. Hot Swiss. Oh, they Sunday's gap down did clear out the liquidity. Like another good example, like we I know I spoke about the liquidity. Look how it sweeps down, takes out all this trend line, and then reverses back up. But where this is at right now, I like off Swiss, I'm not really touching anything with the Swiss. JPY. How's volume? Like volume really attempted here. Trap candle. This is another good example of wait, there's a wick on this. Never mind, I was gonna say there is no wick on this candle. Let me see on a larger time frame where this is at. Oh, this is all-time highs. You can keep in mind this potential area. I would look at where the rest of the yens are at, to be honest. Um, how's everything else look inside of here? This is all pretty efficient. This is a potential area. Um, Up to you if you want to reduce how much you're risking, because it is at we're basically almost back to all-time highs. Um, if you are going to attempt this in terms of exits, obviously we have our big wick candles. I can definitely see 109.400 depending on how much this wants to retrace. If this really is the swing sell down, then you have like 107, 108, sorry, 10800 and 107.850. So this is a potential zone to keep in mind on 2 hour trap candle. It just makes sense to me. Everything else is pretty efficient as we're chopping down here, so we'll see if this respects it and drops down. On NZD, let me just check where gold and silver NAS are at. NAS popped up. I think we did not get anything in that or force anything. Gold as well. Let me just look. I'm just looking at my other screen, guys. Give me a second. All right, cool. This will continue going higher. I can definitely see all the inside of here. Let's see if we have any potential zones we can get into. Next potential area for this, kind of right inside of here, rebalance price action. It did give a nice little another retest here. AUD USD, was this from? Yeah, this was from last week as well. Um, Damn. Dude, we smacked ideas from last week. Jeez. This thing ran 174 pips. Easily smacked the 1 to 4 basically. If you didn't plug in last week's ideas, you played yourself out of well over 1,000 pips. Just saying. How where this is at, because I know we won a dollar retracing a little bit, so I can see this push up a bit. I'm not gonna force any sells inside of here. I'm just gonna wait on this. This already gave a solid move inside of this. Dang, this thing popped off. That's probably the only pair against the chef that really popped off. Like I said, I'm really not in favor of touching anything with the chef. We just have equal lows here. I don't, as much as I would want to play inside of this candle because like we had the liquidity sweep here, I just don't see it being a high probable setup because of the equal lows. I think we might even come sweep this again. So I'm okay with sitting on my hands for this, to be honest. This thing did not come back. Still, I'll keep it there. Still valid for now. Not gonna short inside of this daily area. Hmm. Yeah, I'm okay with staying out of CAD yen. I didn't even get the pullback into this imbalance, so I'm okay with missing that. Uh, Unfortunately, this one gave a little bit of a reaction, like 100 pips, and then reverse. So this not would not even have been a like barely a 1 to 2. That's okay. I mean, if you didn't partial 1 to 2 with the 100 pip move, then could have been better trade management. Swiss yen. I want to see some potential shorts on this. This daily has no wick on it. Mm, I'll stay out of this for now. No pending ideas for Swiss yen, personally. NZD. This idea is still valid for me, NZD CAD, if we get back up there. Um, for when we get back up there, let's see. Where did this play off of? I'm okay. No, nothing obvious that's standing out to me on NZD CAD personally. Let's see NZD yen. This was from last week. If anyone took it, this thing ran 174 pips. I think that, and to be honest, and I'm still in favor of this shorting down a little bit more. I can still just see this come down. But at this point, you've already should have bagged a 1 to 8. Solid moves. Done with that pair. Uh, NZD USD. Uh, let's see. Let's see. Nothing obvious on this for me personally. I'm okay with staring at. Don't want to force anything really inside this candle. NZD Chef. Still gonna stick to. I can see some potential rallies. Just because we've got the liquidity, but this thing really is just chopping. So I'm really okay with not taking a trade inside of all of this. DAX. This zone was also spoken about. Um, uh, Actually, I mean, it's been up for a while. So this played out as well. And this was a banger. And this should all be on last week's call, so you guys can double check too. If you want the pre-breakdown and then seeing how the trades played out as well for learning purposes. But if you haven't traded the DAX, it kind of lines up with how like the other indices move as well. So like they were all melting, so this thing was naturally going to melt as well. Where this is at, I can see actually see the DAX retracing a little bit to rebalance. We did come inside this larger time frame zone. For DAX, I wouldn't be surprised if we hold up inside of this zone or short-term rally up, at least to see this potentially happen, rebalance up until right here. Because all this looks pretty solid. This is a good rebalance. So I can see DAX respecting inside of here and then going up a bit as well. Yeah, would make sense. If you guys trade the DAX, natural gas, things just moving sideways. I'm cool off of that. Ooh, but Japan made equal lows. Interesting. I'm gonna look for this to be a potential target. If we get a pop up and then looking to short down. Oh, Euro cat alert just went off. This close to London Open, I would just wait for price to at least like get the volume in and then see if it respects the zone. But it just popped down into that. Let's see where gold is holding up currently. Hasn't really done much since we've been on the session. It's moving sideways. We did make lows here. I was about to say we could potentially attempt this trap candle inside of here, but I don't like the fact that we have like these lows here as well. So I'm just gonna wait for London Open to show me its hand and then play from there. If it sweeps and then we can get a little retracement higher, like something like this potentially, then I'll keep an eye, depending on how volume is printing, obviously. Indices, yeah, good thing we did not buy. US 30 alert just went off. These things are pushing. Yeah, definitely waiting till London Open the way these things are going, and then see how volume comes in. But I'm glad whoever stayed on. I hope you guys paid attention to like why it's important to be patient. Like we broke down the fact that we have liquidity right up here, so it's like we're not forcing the sell when there's a clear upside target. Let's see. Stocks wise, because something I'm in personally, and if you guys have been plugging the chats, we also sent out the ideas as well. Um, we bought Snap. I got Snap options as well. I know a good amount of people have some shares and options. This is looking good the way it's at. I like the volume that's slowly starting to come in. So hopefully we get a pop coming soon. I think I might look to potentially add in more. Yeah, we'll see how market open is tomorrow. Also, if you guys are paying attention to the educator streams, they called out buys below this liquidity sweep here, below the especially below the IPO, and it did that exactly. So this is running. I think they're in PayPal as well. So a lot of ideas have been sent out between not only the in-house powerhouse, like a stream within the community, but also the educators that we all learn from as well. So I did it's just something I'm keeping an eye on. One of the educators spoke about it, um, for like really when Bitcoin starts to rally. I believe there's a correlation. So potentially looking to take shares. Speaking of crypto, just from a technical point of view, I'm still in favor of Bitcoin down. Wouldn't be surprised if we get a bit of a rally up into this candle. Um, God, I love these trap candles, man. Especially with how like volume comes into it. This was nice. This will probably continue to run. If this does hold for a little bit of rally, we can see something inside of here up into that. Or we just hold up where we're at right now, like inside of this whole consolidation zone, and then just melt down. But it looks good in terms of getting at least sweet or due for a retracement. Personally, I still want this to break down lower. But there is this daily area target if that is something you want to attempt. Little 30-minute candle. Cool. If you guys have any ideas or anything you want me to cover, look at, feel free. Um, how's everything else looking going into session? Now this thing just stalled out. We got liquidity on both ends for this basically. So now we literally apply the same concept that we did on US 30, just be patient. Why would you want to get caught in the shop and be on the wrong side potentially? It's quality over quantity. How's you guys? We got a couple of people on here. How's you guys' trading week been going so far? Anything you guys been trying to work on, get better? What do you have planned for the year in terms of, or at least a quarter in terms of your trading journey, or you're trying to get better at? And if you're watching this and you're near the Northern California area, we are having a special event this Friday. Um, uh, all trading education focus space, whether it's currencies, commodities, stocks, um, and a crypto and investing for long term as well, short term trading and long term investing. So, if you know anyone that's in this area and that would be interested, feel free to send me a message and we'll send the details for them to come to the event. We can meet up, chop it up, and it'll be a good time. We got people flying in from Texas and driving in from LA to get value, so it'll definitely be worth the time. Friday, 6 p.m. In Modesto, Salida area in Northern California. So let me know if you're from the Bay or Sacramento area. Slide through. 4 minutes. Personally, this will be my bias going into the London Open. Before we end it, uh, would like to see a sweep down and then us get a possible retracement up. We got the areas to target, so hopefully we get a London session rally up and then continue shorting potentially. But where things are at, I would like to see a short-term rally for gold. I'm going to be conservative in terms of my risk, just because if we do continue breaking below and price doesn't show its hand, we do have this gap that it can fill. So got the plays. If you've been plugged in, got the plays from last week, well over 1,000 pips bagged. So definitely appreciate you guys hopping on. If you guys ever need any help, feel free to hit me up. Just a text or call away, and I have no problem hopping on a call. If you are not part of the community, Powerhouse community, and you have been finding value from the sessions, feel free to send us a message so we can get you plugged in with the right people. Like I said at the start, none of this is financial advice. We just share our outlooks, our experiences, so that we can all grow and learn together. I'll give it 2 more minutes, and then we'll see how this London volume pimps in, and then we'll call it a night right after, and then focus for tomorrow's session. I mean, I really would love to see if this gets respected. What are the indices doing real quickly? I just want to take a quick look. We'll chop it up. What do you guys got? You guys got any outlooks for gold where we're at currently? Is anyone in anything? That's why I just saw your Telegram message. I'll definitely once I get off the session, I'll look at it and I'll respond. 10 more seconds for London full open. It is open. Let's see what we get here. Come on, take out that liquidity. hmm What's silver doing? We'll look at that real quick too. Silver's popping up. All right, I think we'll call it a night here, guys. Hope you guys got value. Got the idea set, the bias is set. We'll see how New York session plays out. Appreciate you guys plugging in and safe trading. If you guys ever need any help, feel free to reach out. Got you guys anytime. Take care, everyone.